What's up everyone, it's Ricky here. If you do not know me, I am the founder of PR Fitness Training. We have one of the fastest growing fitness apps and I have nothing to sell you. I make these videos because there's a lot of people working harder and not smarter in fitness, and it's a miserable place to be, and I do not want you to be one of them. So quick backstory, over the past about 2-ish years, I've been able to put on about 30 to 35 pounds of weight. And I've done this through strength training, tweaking my nutrition, and gaining majority of that weight in muscle. And a funny thing that continued to happen throughout that process is whenever I told someone, yeah, I'm trying to gain weight, there was always this same pushback on it, and a lot of it was from the older population, aka my dad. I'll pick on him in this video because I know he won't mind. But I would say, yeah, Dad, I'm trying to gain weight, and his response was always, oh, you're gonna regret that when you're my age. And I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? And you know, it just would happen over and over. Yeah, are you still trying to gain weight? Yeah, I'm trying to gain weight. You're really gonna regret that someday. And then finally one day it clicked. I'm just like, we're just not talking about the same things here. You are under the impression I'm gonna be gaining weight because I'm gonna be gaining fat, which is totally understandable because 95% of weight gain is associated with gaining fat because people are over consuming and gaining fat. But the point is, I'm not going to be gaining fat. I'm gonna be gaining that weight with the majority of it through gaining muscle. So that's not the main point of this video. What the main point is it got me thinking, what would it look like and what would I have to eat to actually gain 35 pounds of fat? So that's what I want to lay out for you in this video. Now here's a couple main points that I would focus on, and then I will get into what I would actually eat on a daily basis. So the first main point I would focus on is I would not exercise. I for sure would not lift weights. I would not go on walks. I would decrease my movement to the best of my ability. Most likely I would wake up, I'd come here, sit at my desk for 8 hours, I'd walk over to the couch, watch TV for an hour, and then I'd go to bed. And I would do that every single day. So I would decrease my movement. I would not be burning a lot of calories through exercise. Take exercise off table, I would not do it. The second thing I would do as far as food is I prioritize foods that were high volume of calories but low volume of food. And I'm gonna give you an example of both. So the opposite of that, an example of a food that is high in volume but low in calories would be something like egg whites. You could have a ton of egg whites for a very little amount of calories. So that's an example of high volume food, low volume calories. The flip side of that, and these are the foods I'd prioritize if I wanted to gain fat quickly, is foods that are high volume of calories but a low volume of food. So a couple quick examples of that, they're gonna be foods that are higher in fat. So peanut butter, there's a lot of calories in a very small amount of peanut butter. Regular butter, nuts, really anything that is, you know, mostly made up of fat. I'm not necessarily saying that these foods are bad. I'm just saying if you understand calories and macros, there's more calories in fat than there are in proteins and carbs, so fat adds up quicker. So I would prioritize foods that are low volume of food, high volume of calories. And then the third thing I would do is I would consume a lot of calories through liquid. And I will break down a couple of these examples in what I would eat in a day. But you know, some good examples of high volume liquids are things like regular soda, regular pop, orange juice, juices, it's really alcohol. Those are some of the obvious ones. Okay, so now that we covered those, I will lay out the food. I would lay out what a day of eating would look like for me to gain 35 pounds of fat, and we will figure out how long it will take me to gain 35 pounds of fat. Also, I'm going to do this in a manner that is not super obvious, meaning, you know, I'm not going to eat Taco Bell and McDonald's for every meal of the day because, you know, obviously most people would understand that over time I'm going to gain a lot of body fat from that. I'm going to do this in a way that's a little less obvious than just simply eating McDonald's and Taco Bell every single day. Okay, let's go through a full day of eating and let's see what I'm gonna eat to gain 35 pounds of fat. So meal number 1 of the day, let's log it here in MyFitnessPal. So I'm gonna start out with Cheerios, everybody's favorite Honey Nut Cheerios. Let's do Honey Nut, let's do 2 servings, about 2 cups, that's reasonable. We'll save some calories. Instead of whole milk, let's go almond milk. 1 cup of almond milk. Let's do a glass of orange juice. So orange juice, just regular orange juice here, 8 fluid ounces. So 8 ounces a cup. We'll go 1 cup of orange juice. Let's go 2 slices of bread. So normal bread, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's just go whole wheat. Hold on, yeah, whole wheat bread, 2 slices. Okay, number of servings, 2. Okay, so we got 2 slices of bread, and then we will just do not an insane amount. Let's go 1 tablespoon of butter, unsalted butter, 1 tablespoon. Okay, there we go. So for breakfast, we will go, that's what our breakfast is going to look like. So we are at 659 calories, not, you know, nothing too insane. Let's take a look at the macro breakdown of that breakfast. The macro breakdown is going to be 108 grams of carbs, 18 grams of fat, and 12 grams of protein. So a very carb heavy. Fat's really not too high in the breakfast, only 18 grams of fat. Protein extremely, extremely low. But that's what it's looking like through the first meal of the day. Let's move on to lunch now. Okay, so for lunch, I'm gonna pick a place that I think most people would associate with being at least somewhat healthy, okay? Obviously, it depends on what you get from this place, but like, again, I'm not going to McDonald's, I'm not going to Taco Bell. So let's say we get Panera for lunch. So Panera, we're gonna get, let's say, the barbecue chicken salad. Okay, we'll get the whole salad. You're looking at 450 calories, not totally insane. We'll get a baguette with it because you got to get a baguette every time you go to Panera. We're gonna go 2 tablespoons of ranch dressing, which I think is lowballing it. I think most people probably have more than that. And then we're gonna go, let's just do a regular Coke. I'm gonna go a regular Coke to go along with my salad because you know I love my Coca-Cola. Okay, so that's what lunch is gonna look like. So lunch is gonna bring us 910 calories for lunch, and then the macro breakdown for lunch, we're looking at 114 grams of carbs, 34 grams of fat, and 32 grams of protein. And that is just for our lunch. So 2 meals down, let's move on to the third meal. We'll move into dinner now. All right, moving on to dinner, it is pasta night. So we're gonna have about 4 ounces of pasta noodles, okay? We'll go pasta sauce, let's say 1 total cup of pasta sauce. That might be a lot, I'm not sure, depending on who you are, but let's just say 1 cup of pasta sauce. We'll go feta cheese, and feta cheese is actually really not that bad. You got 1 ounce, which is 28 grams, is 70 calories, so not bad at all. And then we're gonna wash it down with a alcoholic beverage. Let's just say a Blue Moon. So we'll go Blue Moon. 1 Blue Moon is 12 ounces, it's 168 calories. So let's see what we're looking at macro breakdown wise for dinner. So for dinner, we're looking at another 121 grams of carbs. You're looking at 11 grams fat, not very high on fat for dinner, and 24 grams of protein, okay? So we're through 3 meals of the day. We got through breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's just say we're gonna have a snack sometime after dinner. And let's say all we're gonna have for a snack is some mixed nuts. So let's say 1 ounce of mixed nuts, you're looking at 160 calories. You know, obviously nuts are mostly fat, so we're looking at 14 grams of fat, 7 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of protein, okay? So that's what our total day of eating is gonna look like. Let's go back over the entire day. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, so here is what the entire day of eating looks like. We're looking at 2,487 calories. Not really too bad. Like, that's not an insane amount of calories. I think most people would not consider that to be outrageous amount of calories. Now for the macro breakdown for the day, if we take a look at that, this is where it's very problematic, and this is where, you know, I harp on in my one-on-one coaching course and everything. All calories are not created equal. So let's take a look at this breakdown. This breakdown is a very good breakdown if you want to gain a lot of body fat. So we're looking at 344 grams of carbs. That is a large amount of carbs for 95% of the population, especially in this example, we're not really working out, okay? So 344 grams of carbs is a lot of carbs. We're looking at 78 grams of fat. Honestly, not a whole lot of fat in this breakdown. I'm actually surprised there wasn't more in there. I told you that fat adds up quicker, but we don't have an extreme amount of fat. So we're under 100 grams of fat in the day. And then the other thing is the protein is very, very low. We're looking at 74 grams of protein. So this breakdown, this macro breakdown example you're looking at right now is the perfect recipe to gain body fat. We're looking at an outrageous amount of carbs. Again, carbs are not bad, but in this example, our exercise is low and we're eating an extreme amount of carbs at 344 grams. Fat's moderate. Fat's really not that bad. 78 grams of fat, 74 grams of protein, okay? And obviously your protein breakdown is dependent on the individual, dependent on how much you weigh, but let me tell you, 100% of my clients, I have them set eating more than 74 grams of protein. I would consider this a very low protein intake for the day. Okay, so that is what I would eat in a full day. Now let's figure out how long it would take me to gain 35 pounds of fat, eating about 2,400 calories a day, which is not an insane amount. So first thing that you need to understand is this breakdown right here. My maintenance calories, now that I'm not working out, my maintenance calories is only 1,960 calories a day. And what that means is I need to eat 1,960 calories on a daily basis to stay the same weight, okay? So this breakdown that I just took you through is about 500 calories over what my maintenance calories are. So let's do the math on that. We know that every 3,500 calories that you eat in excess is going to mean that you gain 1 pound of body fat, okay? In this specific breakdown, we're overeating by 500 calories every single day, which is going to come out to 3,500 calories a week. So we're overeating by 3,500 calories a week, which means theoretically we're going to be gaining 1 pound of body fat per week. So there's easy math on that. If we're gaining 1 pound of body fat per week, how many weeks is it going to take me to gain 35 pounds? That comes out to 35 weeks. And if I did the math correct, I'm not very good at math, that's about 7 months if my math is correct. So if I stopped exercising, I ate in this manner, I ate this amount of food every single day, it would take me about 7 months to put on 35 pounds of fat, okay? And in the grand scheme of things, that's not a whole lot of time, and that's only overeating 500 calories a day, okay? So 500 does not seem like an insane amount, but 500 times it by 7 days a week, that's 3,500 calories, times that by 7 months, and you're looking at 35 pounds of body fat added in that amount of time. Okay, so what are the main points of this video? If you have not noticed by this point in the video, there's a little reverse psychology going on here. I'm not saying that the foods that I broke down in my daily breakdown are foods that I'm saying not to eat. I'm just saying that these are foods that I would eat if I was trying to gain body fat, okay? Obviously, me not exercising is a big portion of that, so hopefully nobody watched this and was like, wow, that's literally exactly what I eat every single day. I think most people in general watching this video have some type of workout routine that they stick to, so obviously you would not be gaining 35 pounds of fat in the 7 months, but it's just an eye-opening way to see what is possible when you don't really understand how to correctly eat and correctly train your body to be successful. Now, the foods that we went over, again, I'm not saying anything is off limits. I try with my clients not to eliminate anything. The one exception that I would say to that, kind of the one non-negotiable that I have with my clients is pop, okay? Pop, listen, we're not in middle school anymore. We can't be drinking a regular Mountain Dew every day. We can't be drinking Coke every day. You know, one of my goals is to help my clients understand how, you know, one, calories and how the makeup of the calories matter. And a regular pop, like Coca-Cola, for example, 40 grams of carbs and 12 ounces of liquid, like that is, again, a non-negotiable for me. Like that is just an absurd amount of carbs for a very small beverage. And that's just a recipe for disaster and not going to set you up correctly. This is probably going to be the weirdest thing you hear all day today, but I'm not joking. Honestly, I would rather you drink a Bud Light at 9 a.m. in the morning than a regular Coke. Like, at least with a Bud Light, you might be getting like a little buzz from it. From a calorie and macro standpoint, you cannot start your morning with an absurd amount of sugar and carbs coming from regular pop. So that's really the only non-negotiable I have with my clients as far as like things that are off limits. You know, other than that, as you learn calories, as you learn macros, you'll see how you can work in all these certain things. And, you know, really the goal I have for my clients is not to ever like have to eliminate anything, but just know how to make the correct choices to reach whatever their fitness goal is. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope you took something away from this that will be valuable for you in the future. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, that's all right. I still love you anyways. Again, my name is Ricky. I make these videos because a lot of people are working way too hard in fitness and not smarter. It's a miserable place to be, and I don't want you to be one of them. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace.